Hi wavy curlies. So today we're talking about root clipping and how to clip our roots when we are diffusing, drying our hair for volume. Today is second day hair. I filmed this video yesterday and I wanted to come back and show you that oftentimes second day hair is better because sleeping with your hair properly protected at night can actually help with volume, and that's the case for me. I was a little heavy-handed on my cream applications in yesterday's wash, and so not only my root lift but also my overall shape and volume of my hair wasn't as good as it is today. So if you want to see how I put up my shorter fine hair at night, that actually helps with my volume, then click right here and I will link my Medusa clipping video for you. And other than that, stay tuned and let's see what I did. So today I want to show you how I clip my hair. I've had a lot of requests to do that. And I need to start by saying that I have a natural cowlick in front right up here that you can see. Now my hair actually wants to go that way, but by flopping it over this way, I'm able to take advantage of the lift I get to arc that. So my hair right now I've only diffused it like 15%, and I don't even clip this soon, but I wanted to come on kind of just as a disclaimer to say that I have a little bit of natural lift in front, and not everybody's gonna have that. So let me go back to diffusing a little bit more, and I'll be back in just a minute and with more details, okay? So I just started diffusing again, and I thought of something I wanted to tell you. So don't be afraid to touch your hair. Now, I know that extra touching can create frizz, but your goal is to have your hair look good. So you're in charge. And so what I do is I have to sometimes lift the little pieces to get them unstuck from my scalp. And actually, even when I'm diffusing, I'm not gonna turn this on because it'll be loud, I might even lift my fingers here while holding the diffuser. See the lift I'm getting? Now you can do that with something long and skinny, like a really long duckbill clip, or even the back end of a really of a pointy comb or brush, and just lift and hit that. The other thing is, if you don't naturally have a lot of lift at your roots, then I would say don't put your creams and conditioners, leave-in conditioners there. Skip that. Put that where your hair is drier and the curls are forming, but do put your hold product there. So if you apply gel or mousse, then I would apply that there, unless your gel or mousse has a light hold and heavy moisture. So you definitely want something with moisture. You can even go in with a spray such as a sea salt spray to give yourself a little bit of lift there. I actually don't have one. Let me see one sec. If I have one here. Okay, here we go. So for example, here's a sea salt spray by OGX. And I could just go spray this at my roots to give it a little bit of texture. The sea salt can be drying, but to mitigate that, a lot of companies put in things that will soften it. So you have to do a little bit of trial and error. When you see things like propylene glycol close to the front or glycerin, that might make it feel less drying. So you may not get quite the lift you want. It may start to feel a little producty. So you can always just make your own sea salt spray. It's simply just Epsom salt dissolved in water, and you can put it in a little tiny spray bottle and just hit the places that you want, unless you have dry scalp or really dry hair even at your roots. That's not me, so I can actually do that a little bit. So back to the roots. So see how I'm giving it some lift? My hair was stuck more down to my head, but I want to give it some lift. Now, because my hair is short, I don't want to go too tall, because you have to think about proportion. I don't want the hair that's lifted this tall and then I only have a few inches under my ears. Now, if you want huge roots, then I would say that you should have more volume and more length so that your balance doesn't get thrown off and you don't look a little bit silly. But of course, it's to each their own. So if that's what you like, go for it. So just wanted to tell you about how I kind of lift my roots and allow some air to get in there for drying. So I'm going to go back to drying, and I'll come back one more time when I'm ready to clip, okay? Okay, so I'm back and my hair is probably, I don't know, somewhere between 60 and 80% dry. Sometimes I let it go more dry, and sometimes I don't even clip. But this is a good enough spot. So there are two kinds of clips that I find work well for me with fine, lower density hair. And that is this really long, skinny duckbill, and then the short double prong duckbill, right? It's not the Diva one, which is really big. I haven't tried that. They're kind of pricey and they seem kind of heavy when they've used them on me in the salon and they would kind of fall over. I'm sure that there are ways to kind of get around that, but I found that these two work and they're pretty inexpensive. So there are so many ways to clip your hair. First of all, let me just say that. And what works for one doesn't necessarily work for the other. What works for your super thick, high density haired friend may not be optimal for you if your hair is more similar to mine. So this is what I do, what I find works for me. And I've seen a few other things that I dabble with too, but for the most part, I do not go in with my clips this way. If I pinch hair and clip it, see that little line? I get these like ladder stair-step sections like a tiger that once dry don't always fluff back out and conceal the separation. They kind of stay in those little sections because I don't have that much density. So that is not my preferred way to clip up top. Now, I do a lot of times have root growth because, yeah, I color my hair. So one of the ways I do like to go in is I take the clip and I take hair from either side of the part and I stick it so that there's hair coming out one side and the other, sort of like the golden arches, like McDonald's. So that's what I'll do, and I'll go in and I'll take a little from one side and a little from the other, and I don't know if you can see that. I didn't do a very good job. Let's try that again. Okay, so there's essentially hair going both directions, to the left and to the right. That will give you lift right at your part. And if you've done any other kind of weird clipping before that, or clipping before that, and this is like your second phase of clipping, maybe you have a two-part type kind of thing, that might be a way to bring that together and to pull some separations that have happened back together. So that's the thing I usually do, and I usually just do a couple of them. And I don't keep my clips in until my hair is 100% dry, because usually that makes too much of a demarcation. There's kind of too much permanency to what I've done. And then the other thing I like to do is take the long duckbill clips to get lift right along here, and I'll go in. Now, I think the little tiny arc is slightly important. I want my hair to arc that way. If I put it in this way, it's like scooped down. Does that make sense? That's kind of weird. I want my arc to be over that. So I go in, I lift a little, and sorry. And I can do that. And then I do it over here on the heavy side, usually about an inch or two down. I stick the duckbill in, and you can already see a little lift. And that's the kind of lift I like. Just a little bit natural, normal for how long my hair is and how full my hair is. So those are the two main ways that I do it. And back, if I have a separating place, then I'll do the clipping like that on the separation. But sometimes I'll even go in with the big clip, and hopefully you can see this. I don't think I have bad separation today, but sometimes I go in with the big clip this way just to give a little lift. And it's a tiny bit. So you kind of just have to play with it. I mean, I'm sorry if this wasn't super visible or great, but those are my two main ways to clip. Then the other thing I will do right here in front, I like that to stay open. If it's flopping over too soon, that means my hair is going to constantly be in my face. I will kind of clip it to stay back. And here is a trick I did learn from a Diva stylist. A lot of people go in and they clamp the root and they bring it together. A way to go around that is keep it closed, stick it in, then open it and grab that part of the curl that's about like an inch or so over. And that's a way that you can anchor it without clamping down the roots. So I could do that across the top. It's kind of just a pain, and I like my little golden arches clipping a little bit better. Works for me. So I don't use a ton of clips. Here I would do probably one more on my little short side. I would do one more here for some volume. And then maybe similarly, I go underneath with one of the shorter duckbill clips right there. And then I'll start to hit that with my diffuser. And again, I take it out before it's 100% dry. And if I forget, then sometimes I will go back with the diffuser and just hit it to soften up any just really strong bumps or marks it's made from having them in there too long. So I'm gonna finish diffusing and I'll be back at the end so you can see what volume I may have gotten from this. All right, I'll be back in a minute. I'm back and I let my hair dry. I diffused it to about 90% and then let it air dry the rest of the way and let the cast sit for a while to kind of really just let everything marinate and set. Kind of like when you used a curling iron, you'd let it cool. So I just wanted everything to be completely dry. And then I just scrunched out the crotch, fluffed it upside down, ruffled at the roots. And I did use a pick. I do use a pick sometimes just to do a little bit of lift. Doesn't necessarily stay like that, but it can help separate and just kind of open up some of the curl clumps. I don't wear my hair quite as clumpy as some because if I do, you see right through it. So getting a little bit of fluff or frizz is just how I get some of the volume. But here I am. This is how much volume I have at the roots. It's not stuck to my head, so you can see when I pat it down, but it just gives the illusion of maybe like a fuller head because I have kind of a small head. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. I did take out the clips when I was like 90% when I went to air dry it. So like I said, I don't keep my clips in the whole time. I can always, change my mind on that, or if I take everything out and one little part is kind of fallen flat, then I might go let that 10% air dry happen with a clip in one place. But I hope this was helpful. I'll give a turn around. I haven't even looked at the back. That's probably bad. That's what it looks like. And if you have any questions or comments, or if I wasn't clear about something, just let me know. Put it in the comments. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to know when I upload new videos. After you subscribe, hit the little bell right next to it, and that way you can get notifications when a new video goes up. And I'll see you soon on another wavy curly video.